afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Notice This Notice's broadcast this afternoon on the 8th of May, 1945. My name is Clara Clearvoice, and it gives me great pleasure to announce that after 5 years, 8 months and 7 days of conflict, the Allied forces have accepted Germany's unconditional surrender. The news has been welcomed throughout the country with scenes of jubilant celebration. Large crowds have amassed at Piccadilly Circus, Trafalgar Square, and of course, Ashbourne Town Marketplace. Following almost 6 years of conflict, the nation is finally able to look towards the end of chocolate rationing. And of course, fortunately, gin hasn't been rationed at all, so we can all raise our glasses to victory.
Huzzah!
Thank you, Simon. As I was saying, to mark this special occasion, I am joined this evening by a few guests to share their experience of the war and, of course, their visions of hope for peacetime. To start us off, we are joined by RAF Navigator, Flight Lieutenant Roger Rogerson. Welcome, Lieutenant, and may I say thank you for your service.
You're very welcome, Miss Clearvoice. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome, and thank you for being here.
Oh, no. It's my pleasure to be here with you this afternoon, so thank you.
No, it is incredibly kind of you to say that, Lieutenant, but really it is I and all of those listening at home who should be thanking you.
No. You, I pleasure. I mean, you're my pleasure. It's a pleasure to pleasure you.
Perhaps, sir, we should move on with the interview, Lieutenant.
Yes, quite.
Now, flying is awfully dangerous.
Yes.
You must have found it terribly frightening, soaring through the sky.
Oh, yes. Terribly so. Very glad to be home.
And your family must be very proud. When will you be able to see them again?
Well, soon, I hope. Mother's very glad that I'll be returning home safely.
Oh, that's very touching to hear, Lieutenant. I can assure your mother that her son has done his country proud.
Oh, Miss Clearvoice, you're making me blush.
Oh, don't worry, Lieutenant. You're on the radio.
Oh!
No one can see you.
Good.
Although I must say, for our listeners at home, you do look dashing.
Oh, you're very kind, Miss Clearvoice.
I'm sure your wife can't wait to see you again.
No. I'm afraid I'm not a married man, Miss Clearvoice.
Oh, well, that's a surprise coming from such a dashing young man like yourself. Why ever not?
I think it must be the stubborn streak that runs in the family.
Phew. Well, I'm sure you'll find a sweetheart in no time, Lieutenant.
Do you really think so?
Oh, I bet the next time you ask a girl to the dance, she'll swoon on the spot.
Well, no, I really am blushing.
Lieutenant Rogerson, it has been delightful meeting you. From all of us across the nation, I would like to give you our thanks.
And I'd like to give you a
No.
fond farewell.
Oh, thank God.
Goodbye, Miss Clearvoice, and thank you for having me.
And thank you, Lieutenant Rogerson. Now, over the course of the day, we have been hearing some wonderful stories about how you at home have been celebrating. Joyce and Cynthia of London told us they had a wonderful paddle in the fountains of Trafalgar Square. East Acton has erupted into an enormous conga line, and most impressively, Mr. and Mrs. Winborn of Woodlands Brow have broken the record for the most sandwiches consumed at a street party, with an incredible 72 trays. Well done to those revelers on Woodlands Brow. Now, on the subject of sandwiches, my next guest claims to have perfected the recipe for the most perfect celebratory jam sandwich. Welcome, Mrs. Brownfield.
Please, dear, just call me Doris.
Mrs. Brownfield.
Hello?
Hello, Mrs.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Mrs. Brownfield.
Simon, I don't think you turned it on.
Yes, Mrs. Brownfield. I assure you, we can hear you.
Are you sure?
Yes, Mrs. Brownfield, I'm sure.
But I can only hear you. I can't hear anybody else.
Yes, Mrs. Brownfield, that's how radio works.
All right. Oh, what must she think of me?
Don't worry, Mrs. Brownfield. It's an easy mistake to make.
Please, dear, call me Doris. Mrs. Brownfield makes me feel old.
Of course, Doris. Now, I'm sure that everyone listening at home would love to hear the recipe for your secret, perfect, celebratory jam sandwich.
Well, I can't tell you that, or it wouldn't be a secret, would it?
Quite.
But I did bring one for you to try, though, dear.
Oh, well, isn't that charming?
I've got it here in my handbag.
Oh, thank you so much. That's very kind of you, Doris.
You can eat that.
Lovely. Well, listeners at home, I'm just unwrapping the sandwich now. Oh, look at that. Lovely white bread, and I can see the jam spilling out of the sides there.
Yes.
I'll just take a small bite.
Yes. Yes.
Goodness. Isn't that an interesting flavour?
That's a proper British jam sandwich, that one is, you know.
Right, and, what on earth is in it?
Well, I took my inspiration, you see, from seeing all the flags in the windows, because we all get a little bit proud, don't we, when we see red, white and blue. So the jam, that's the red, and the bread, that's the white, but the blue was a little bit trickier, you know, because there aren't very many foods that are blue. So I had to think outside the box a little bit for that one. I chose Stilton.
Stilton?
Yeah. What's more British than blue cheese?
A complete lack of taste, perhaps?
Oh, right.
Anyway, thank you very much, Doris.
Oh, do I go now?
Yes, please do.
All right.
Right, well, if any of you listeners at home would like to try Doris's celebratory British jam sandwich, her recipe is white bread, jam, and Stilton. Though I suggest absolutely anything else blue would taste better. And talking of recipes, over the course of the war, we here at Notice This Notice Broadcasting have been searching for the best wartime recipe. We are still looking for a winner. And so please keep sending those in. Currently, Mabel's mock goose, made from only potatoes, apples, and grated cheese, is the front runner. Yes, that was mock goose, made from potatoes, apples, and cheese. So please, God, do send something else. And of course, in times of national crisis, it can be easy to forget those who have worked tirelessly here at home to keep the cogs of Britain moving. My next guest is no stranger to the dangerous challenges on the home front. Isn't that so, Mr. Skimmer?
Yes.
Perhaps you would like to to tell our listeners what you do, Mr. Skimmer?
Milkman.
And how have you been keeping Britain moving during the war?
Well, delivering milk.
But the war must have changed many aspects of your job, has it not?
No.
Your routes didn't change?
No.
You never felt you might be in danger, perhaps?
No.
So you're saying, in spite of the bombs, rubble, and general chaos of war, your job has not changed at all?
Well, now that I think about it, before the war, I used to deliver to houses, right? But then with all the bombs and that, I started delivering to piles of rubble that used to be houses. And sometimes when you were driving the float down the road, you did feel a little bit like you were driving through a French cheese shop.
I'm sorry, what?
Debris was everywhere.
Right, well, I'm glad to see that nothing can dampen your spirits. No, crying over spilt milk for you, Mr. Skimmer.
No, actually, that does make me cry.
Right. Well, at least you must be pleased that the end of the war means less spilt milk then, I suppose.
Yes.
And is there anything else that you would like to say to our listeners at home at this time of celebration?
No.
Thank you, Mr. Skimmer. Of course, despite the keep calm and carry on attitude that so many of us across the nation have embraced, we must never forget the cost, the real cost of war. Across the world, families have been torn apart, loved ones have been lost, and have witnessed death, destruction, and atrocities on a scale that most people would have presumed impossible. I would like to leave you this afternoon with a vision of hope for the future. But I will also ask you to think of the millions of men, women, and children whose lives have been claimed in the name of war. To all the loved ones we have lost, your sacrifice and bravery will never be forgotten.